What is it you love about it?
It's donuts.
I mean, yeah,
You know what I mean?
You probably didn't need to ask the question.
At Krispy Kreme, we want to be the most loved sweet treat brand in the world. And loved is a really powerful word. If I walk into a shop and I see someone come in for the first time and have that moment with the Krispy Kremer behind the counter and have that first hot donut and they go, wow.
Patrick, thank you for joining the Marketing Freaks podcast at ShopTalk. You are a legend because you've bought, I was trying to add it up, there's at least 40 donuts on the table.
Just for you.
Which I reckon I can make a good dent in that shortly.
I'm sure you could. The good thing about those, you can share them. You can spread the joy.
Spread the joy of Krispy Kreme. But thank you, Patrick. It's very much appreciated for my jet-lagged soul. Thank you.
You can smell them, right?
Yep.
Made fresh this morning.
Just amazing.
Just for John.
It's amazing. And if you are listening to the audio version of this, watch the video when it's out and you'll see what we're talking about. But thank you, Patrick. So we're here to talk about marketing, but specifically marketing for a legacy brand, which I think is a really interesting point of discussion. But first off, do you want to give us like a really quick whistle-stop tour of who you are, what you do, what your job is, what life looks like for yourself?
What life looks like. So sure, Patrick McIntyre. I lead development for Krispy Kreme. I report to the US president, but directly accountable to the CEO and the board, and as we think about growing our capital investments across the world. Fundamentally, I've been a retailer my entire life. Started off as an entrepreneur, did that for a couple of years, sold the business in the late 2000s, then went and worked for Target stores here in the US for about 5 years. Got recruited to work at Mars Incorporated, where I got to work on great brands like M&M's and really built out their D2C strategy, which is a lot of fun.
Amazing.
A lot of fun. And then get the opportunity now to work for Krispy Kreme Donuts, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Amazing. What is it you love about it?
It's donuts.
Good.
You know what I mean?
You probably didn't need to ask the question.
So we have part of our leadership mix. Every company's got these capabilities that are important to them. And one of our capabilities is don't take yourself too seriously.
Amazing.
So we walk around the office in ugly Christmas sweaters in July just because why not? And so it has that real startup feel to it.
Fantastic.
And it's just a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So what is the approach with Krispy Kreme for reaching customers? Because you've got obviously a massive reach. You're already obviously established as a brand, but how do you continue doing that? How do you continue reaching new customers? What's the approach?
Yeah, we've adapted what we've called the hub and spoke strategy. And so we have really 4 ways that we either make or sell a donut. You have a donut factory, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a factory that makes donuts. Then you have the Hot Light theater experience shops. And that's going to be where you're literally going to see the donut get mixed, proofed, fried, and then it'll come down the beautiful silver conveyor belt. You'll see this waterfall of icing. We call it glazing, and that's what creates our original glazed donuts, which are truly mouth-watering. And people will come in the shop and literally eat them off the line.
Amazing.
As part of the free sample and as part of the real experience that we offer. That's where we make donuts. And then the 2 other places that are important to us are what we call fresh shops. You may see those inside of a transit hub
Yep.
at a train station.
Uh-huh.
Or we actually put it in a cabinet in a grocery or a C-store location, which is delivered fresh every single day. So we deliver to 12,000 points of access every single day. And last year we grew over 20%. We added 2,300 points of access across the globe. That's
insane. That's just the logistics. It's mad. Just thinking about that. It's certainly in the UK, and I'm sure it's the same here in the US. There's this definite trend towards craft donuts, and they're becoming more and more prevalent. And there's, independent stores cropping up all the time, and people love it, and that's great. So when you're a legacy donut brand, how do you keep relevant without distilling who you are as a brand, but kind of keep up with these consumer trends? Because I think that must be one of the challenges of marketing for a legacy brand in my world. But yeah. Go for it.
I'll answer in 2 different ways.
Okay.
And the first way will be there's a really large chain of gas stations here in the United States, petrol stations, you'd call them in the UK. And so they've, in essence, started to sell these craft donuts. And so they were doing an interview I don't know if it was a large network television doing the interview, and they were interviewing the CMO of the group. Why have you done this, and why are you selling donuts? He's like, we want to be like Krispy Kreme. We want our donuts to be as good as Krispy Kreme. We're almost there, but we're trying. Just even saying our name as competition as what they're aiming towards. So we know we have a quality product. We know we have something that people love and want to emulate, and I think that's great. Mm-hmm. To the root of your question, though, when you think about the marketing, the original glazed donut has been the same for 87 years. It's the same formulation. It's the same yeast. Everything's the same. The additive items that we then play into and what we've really leaned into are the micro moments, the things that only happen once a year where you need a sweet treat, where you want to spread the joy that is Krispy Kreme. So yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, huge celebration. I was wearing a green hat that lit up and was sparkling for my speech. It was actually kind of funny.
Brought that with you.
It was really good. But anyone who walked into a Krispy Kreme this weekend, if you were wearing green, we gave you 2 free donuts. Just for coming in the shop. And all of our donuts were dyed green. And then we had a whole, assortment of St. Patrick's Day donuts. And for a lot of companies, you wouldn't lean that heavily into, it's not a major moment. It's not, let's say, Christmas or the holidays, but we changed our box. We changed the donut. We changed the original glazed donut, one of the only times we do that in the entire year. And then we have a whole assortment of other donuts. So those are micro occasions, but then you also have IP, really leaning into cultural moments that are relevant to people that they may not have thought of, to either give a gift or to share the joy.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant. And then they do make people happy.
They really do. There's when I walk through the airport carrying Krispy Kreme donuts, I call it the TSA tax, because the TSA officer's like, you brought us donuts, thanks so much.
I love that.
And if you think about, the local craft donut or some of those other brands that, may come to the top of your mind when you think about donuts, the people who carry those through the airport don't get asked for them.
Yep. That's brilliant. But if you turn up at a meeting with a box of Krispy Kreme donuts, you're going to win some friends.
I would think so.
Big time. It's amazing. So how do you, obviously, it's a global brand here, right? So
yep. Over 30 countries.
Just the logistics is mad when you think about it, right? But you've got different consumer needs in different markets. I guess the brand's at slightly different stages or perceived slightly different in different markets. What's your approach to managing that? Because, the view of Krispy Kreme and the stage of Krispy Kreme in the UK is different to the US.
Totally.
So how do you go about managing that?
It starts with, who are you? And so our brand purpose is to touch and enhance the lives of people through the joy that is Krispy Kreme. So that is really fundamentally at the core of what we do. So whether we're in Japan, Mexico, or in the UK, we're going to be doing things that are spreading that joy, whether it's our fundraising activities, whether it's how we're giving back to those local communities. Those things really, really, really matter no matter where you are in the world. Do we have regional menus? Yeah, absolutely. I was in Japan over the holidays. We went for New Year's Eve. And, they had a matcha donut. Well, of course they do, because it's Japan. Matcha everything. They had a creamed creme brulee donut where the actual top of the donut was crystallized. So you actually bit through this, that
sounds so good.
It was so good. So regional menus matter. And so yesterday in my conversation here at ShopTalk, we talk about, at Krispy Kreme, we want to be the most loved sweet treat brand in the world. And loved is a really powerful word, mm-hmm. because we like lots of things. We like lots of people. We like lots of restaurants. But how many of those do we love?
That's a good point.
And so we really want to create that emotional connection with a consumer. So love really sits fundamentally at the core of what we're trying to do and what we're putting out there. And to go back to my St. Patrick's Day example, we gave 2 donuts away just because. Why not? And even if you just came and grabbed the donuts and left and didn't buy anything, that's fine. And we give you 2 for what reason? 1 for you, and what are you going to do with the other one? You're going to give it to someone. You're going to spread the joy. So I think that's how we think about our ethos and our DNA to stay true to who we are no matter where we are in the world.
How do you know you're getting that right? So if your mission is to make the world's most loved donut, right, that's a very different target to, we want to sell 20 million donuts. Mm-hmm. And I think those softer objectives are sometimes harder to measure because it's emotion.
Sure.
So how do you know you're getting that right and pushing forwards in the right direction?
It's something that I would say in certain forums, we're really clear, right? We're a publicly traded company. So is the consumer parting with their hard-earned money to buy a box of donuts? Question. And if they're buying more, okay. That's an indication we're headed in the right direction. Two, we want to be the most loved sweet treat brand in the world. And what I talked about yesterday was like, we have to love our consumers. And so to measure that is difficult. It is not an easy thing to do. Sure, we do surveys. Sure, we do focus groups. There's the financial metrics. So there's all this thinking. And it is hard to put your hands on, yes, we are truly getting there. And I can share with you research where we've said that we're the most loved brand, and here's the reasons why, and all the attributes that come with that. But for me personally, if I walk into a shop and I see someone come in for the first time and have that moment with the Krispy Kreme behind the counter and have that first hot donut and they go, wow, that's where I know we're making the mark.
Yeah. I was actually talking to someone earlier on a previous episode as part of the ShopTalk collection that we're doing. And we were talking about that importance of just getting on the ground and picking up on the nuance of things and seeing people's reactions. I think it's such an important thing because you can't substitute that, can you?
You can't. And that's why I'm so happy to be at this organization. Our CEO, our leadership team, they're in the field. And so it's one of those things where your CEO sends you a text message. You're like, this is going to go one of two ways really quickly, right? But you want that level of pressure. You want to know that you are delivering. And I'm being funny. So Josh, if you ever listen to this, I'm kidding, right? I love your messages. But they really push us. And they push us to be better, to make sure that when that customer comes through the door, that we are loving them to the best of our ability and we are giving them a high quality product that either is for themselves, for their friends, or for their communities, and we're giving back in a way that is meaningful to us.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Patrick, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I hope you have a great rest of Shop Talk and well, hopefully see you at the bar later I
look forward to it. I still got to work off St. Patrick's Day yesterday, but thanks for listening and thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Patrick.
Cheers.